Hello everyone and welcome to my channel, Siriana Tarot. This is going to be an energy check-in love reading for my dearest Geminis. Gemini, take what resonates and leave what doesn't. Also, many of you will notice I have a little bit of a different setup. I've come to visit my best friend to celebrate my birthday, which was back on Tuesday. So you may hear some different sounds, definitely dogs barking, maybe some construction in the background, children playing, just a little bit different than usual, so just bear with me. I will be back to normal hopefully this weekend. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. All right, so your energy, all right. So Gemini, you're showing up as the Ten of Cups in reverse. Okay, so you could be in separation here, or this could be a connection that just hasn't found its form yet. Your person, the Ace of Cups, beautiful. They're viewing you as the Knight of Cups in reverse, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. What you're not seeing is the Magician, Virgo, Gemini energy. And the final outcome advice, we have the Seven of Wands. Okay, so this may be a connection here that's worth fighting for. Like I said, some of you are in separation from this person, but for others of you, you might just be starting to date this person, interested in this person, you know, checking out your options. And we see the Four of Swords. So a lot of you, you've been healing, all right? You're not about to do all the emotional labor. You're not about to chase, Gemini. I kind of feel like you're in a flow state. You know, the Ten of Cups in reverse is the Nine of Cups, like seeing what's out there, being casual, you know, enjoying good food, drinks, good company. But with the Four of Swords, you may not be really looking for a relationship because you're either recently out of one, or you're just not, you know, maybe you're just enjoying the single life. But the Four of Swords tells me is like you're taking it easy. You're not pushing, you're not rushing, you're not trying to force anything here. All right, so, and I also think too, you're taking a lot of time to yourself, Gemini, to really figure out what it is that you want. All right, so we have the Knight of Cups. You definitely have romantic feelings here for this person. You're definitely focused on this person, you know, as your person or one of your most interesting options. I also think you're being strategic. You want to see what this person is made of. You want to see if they're coming towards you for repair, for those of you where there's separation. But for others of you, you know, you want to see if this person can meet you where you are. Are they going to step up to you? At the soul level, you're viewing this person as the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, which is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn energy. Now, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse for me represents two things. One, someone who's not really taking action at this time. You know, they might not be putting in the effort. So again, you're going to match that. You know, does this person really want me? How bad do they want this? But for others of my Geminis, the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, it means somebody here who is different from all the rest. They're not somebody who just toes the line. I always get like a bit of a rebellious energy, or there's something here that's really piqued your interest because they do things differently. All right, and you're viewing the relationship, though, at the soul level as the Ace of Cups. So you do see a potential new beginning. You sense that there could be love here, but it's not without a little bit of agitation. I don't always get that, but I see that now with this pearl. You know, for this pearl to become as beautiful and valuable as it is, it requires a little bit of tension. A little bit of irritation even. All right, and your person, the Page of Wands in reverse, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, tells me that they may have one foot in the door and one foot out. I mean, it can be player vibes, so it's definitely something you need to keep an eye out for. It can also be immaturity, but I actually am more so reading it, Gemini, from the other cards in the reading, as somebody here who's not fully confident, because they're seeing you as the Knight of Cups in reverse. They're seeing you as wanting to be indulged. It's like you're making them come towards you. They see you as, you know, they see you as maybe being a bit of a player yourself or exploring your other options. So like I said, this, for a lot of my gems, this may be a connection that hasn't quite found its form yet, and you're just kind of trying to suss each other out. For others of you, you have a history with this person. So just trust your instincts and your intuition, Gemini. All right, so strong water energy, strong Virgo, Pisces, strong, Virgo, Gemini, Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, Aries, Leo, Sag so far. But this is more of an energy read than a signs reading. So the oracle cards, Gemini, are saying ego death. So ego can never really die. It can only be made conscious so that it no longer runs your life. Be mindful of it and don't allow it to limit you. You know, and the ego can limit us in a lot of different ways. It can tell us to stay where we are because we know how this works and we know how to, we know where this goes. Okay, and so it can keep us a little bit stuck sometimes. But, also it can, I am also getting a message like, let your ego down, but not your standards. See what this person is made of, or give them that space to show you, what they're made of, who they are, how they really feel. All right. Don't settle, Gemini. So don't accept your current circumstances as the best you'll ever have. Don't be afraid to start over. Sorry, you can hear some wrangling of the dogs in the background. All right, so don't settle, Gemini. Don't be afraid to start over. And some of you, that is the case, either with this person or, because you've been through a painful ending and you've been healing. So it's about not rushing into anything either. All right, and remember, Gemini, I love this card for you. You're a rare gem. You're a rare breed. Don't waste your energy trying to convince anyone of it. They're not supposed to understand you. Yeah, so it's like you don't need to work harder for someone's love or affection. The right person is going to recognize your value and your uniqueness. Just as I see you are recognizing this person's value and their uniqueness. So we do see reconciliation for those of my Geminis where you have a history with this person. But like I said, not all of you do. But there's someone or something that can still be saved if you choose to compromise. Try to find the middle ground between 2 points, okay? So again, this could be a relationship that's still finding its form, and it's about finding this middle ground. And for others of you, it's about, can we have a new beginning here? Now, the Ace of Cups tells me this person has a lot of love for you, and they certainly are hoping for a new beginning. All right, but we see the Nine of Pentacles and the Three of Swords in reverse. So this person isn't fully giving to this connection. It does feel like they're holding back. They either do want to heal things with you, Gemini, or they've also been healing possibly some codependencies here that they have. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse can tell me that maybe they have some bad habits that they're releasing, but they've definitely been holding back, and they're working on healing. So you two both might be really mirroring each other, kind of holding back, focused on healing, focused on cleaning up your side of the street, looking at, am I ready for a relationship, or do I want to heal this particular connection? And we see the Tower in reverse. So your person, Aries, Scorpio energy, may be a little bit avoidant. They don't want to let this connection go, though. They don't want to miss out on this connection. But I can see your hesitation becoming a lot more clear, Gemini, as to why you're in this Four of Swords, why you want this person to come towards you rather than you going towards them, because there's something they need to release. There's something that needs to shift and change, and it feels like they haven't been giving their all. Do they want to? Absolutely, but have they been fully ready to transform things? It feels like they're still kind of missing that final push. So the Knight of Cups in reverse, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. Some of you could be Gemini, Cancer, cusps. But the Knight of Cups here in reverse tells me that this person may recognize on a lot of levels here that you want them to come towards you. You want them to indulge you. You want to see what they're made of. Now, that can be kind of daunting for someone, all right? But I still think it's the right thing to do. But it might be daunting for them. They might also be a little bit worried, Gemini, that you're not looking for something serious, something, that you're playing the field. And maybe you are. I mean, you may have even told this person that I have other options, or, I'm not jumping into anything here, or I'm still healing, or something feels off to me. All right, but they're seeing you as a soulmate. They feel like you two really complement each other in the most beautiful ways. even if you're very different from one another. They feel like you two really do see eye to eye. They feel the strength of this soulmate connection. They want union with you. The Four of Swords in reverse tells me, I think they know that you do want to get to the heart of the matter here, Gemini. But I think they also feel like you're restless, you know, that you don't want to wait, that you're not going to wait around for them forever. And again, that maybe you have already moved on or you are exploring other options. Because, you know, their energy is quite avoidant, you know, and they may be cleaning up their side of the street. Maybe they need to let go of another relationship. Maybe they still need to heal. Maybe they're moving. Maybe they're going through big life changes. Whatever it is, it does feel like they're not fully able to, or they haven't been fully able to invest in this connection the way that you would want them to. And so you're like, okay, well, that's fine. Like, let's keep seeing other people then. Or, you know, I'm gonna, you know, see what else is out there. You know, and I said this recently in a reading, you know, the two things can be true at once, Gemini. You can hold space for connection without putting your life on hold, especially if this person isn't fully coming towards you or isn't quite available. All right. And we see the Nine of Cups in reverse. Yeah. So I think this person realizes that, you know, you will walk away if they make you wait too long. They may also realize that this has been or is emotionally draining for you because they're not fully giving for whatever reason, if there's a good excuse or not. So they may be like, okay, well, Gemini might just be around for a good time, but not a long time. Okay, but that doesn't negate or demote it doesn't negate the feeling that they have that you two are really meant for each other. There's a strong soul connection. But I do think that they're very well aware that you could walk away, or you will walk away, or you are walking away. So the Three of Wands, this person could be at a distance from you, Gemini. There could be, you know, physical distance. There could be emotional distance. In a lot of ways, I do feel like this person has been waiting for you or waiting for someone just like you. Okay, because we see him, you know, holding space, holding this space, you know, placeholder for the right person. But again, this person might also be waiting too long, and I can see why this is, you know, this is about not settling, right? Because somebody who keeps you waiting too long makes you feel like, okay, well, they're not afraid to lose me, or they're not available, and I can't, you know, let this keep me single or keep me stuck. All right, Gemini, so it's definitely not without complications here. All right, so this person is showing up as a gambler. All right, so willingness to follow their intuition even when others doubt you. So this is somebody who's intuitive and willing to take risks. This is somebody that does want to put in the hard work, okay? And we see King energy. So they're showing up in a very powerful energy, enlightened, benevolent leadership, benefiting those in your charge. But for some of my Geminis, I do kind of feel like this person might be a workaholic, or maybe they place, you know, financial gain and things like that over and above everything else. And that is something to look at. You know, it's beautiful to have somebody by your side who's successful and hardworking, but if you never get to see them, you know, it's something you do have to weigh up. But I do feel with this King energy, you have somebody that wants to step up for you and is willing to take a risk, is willing to put in the work. I mean, those two cards are telling me so. Even if their energy is avoidant or has been. So what they admire about you, or what they like about you, Gemini, is the saboteur archetype. So highlights your fear of self-empowerment and the changes it would bring to your life. So they see you as not staying stuck. This person knows really well, Gemini, that you're not going to, you know, let them keep you stuck, or let anybody keep you stuck, or keep you waiting for too long. Now that's a really powerful Emperor or Empress energy, using all of your strength and your courage to move in a different direction, even when you really love somebody, or you really like somebody, or you see a lot of potential. But if it's not giving, right, then you're going to move away, and they know that. All right, and we see the Knight archetype. So they definitely see you as romantic and chivalrous, or loyal, like a love of honor, romance. But they also know that you want romance, right? And if they can't give it to you, or they can't invest in this connection, that you will go and look for it elsewhere. And not just romance, not just superficial, I want, candlelit dinners and roses and things like that. But, like connection, romantic connection. The magician energy, Virgo, Gemini tells me this person I do feel is ready to take action and they're ready to communicate. All right. Yep. They're coming in with an apology or a love offer, or maybe even a creative solution to how we can make this work. All right. The Knight of Swords. This is somebody coming in with honesty and truth. This is somebody who's going to be very clear, or is very clear about their boundaries and their expectations as well. I do think this is somebody who's going to lay it all out on the table for you, Gemini. This is what I can offer, and this is when. Okay, so I feel like they are getting right. They're coming in correct is what I'm getting. And with the Ten of Cups in reverse, this person may tell you that I can't offer you a full-on relationship just right now. I'm still going through this divorce. I'm still healing. My business is suffering. My children need me, whatever it might be. So, there may be a little bit of a harsh truth here, but the truth wins, Gemini. Okay, because some of you, this is going to make enough sense, and it's okay that we don't rush into a committed relationship. But I do think the beauty of what's going on here that we're not seeing is the truth and clarity about where you stand. And that's going to give you the information you need to know whether or not you're going to continue to hold space for this, if you're going to continue to see this person or not. Okay, the Seven of Wands is a reminder to protect your energy, but I also think that this is about getting the communication that you need to know whether or not this is in alignment with you and whether or not this connection is worth fighting for. All right, we see the Ace of Wands in reverse. Some of you will be rejecting this person because, again, it may be an almost connection. Like this person is everything that I want, but they're not available. They work too much, or they have too many other responsibilities, or they're not fully single, or whatever it is. But they're coming, like what I do like is they're coming in with truth and honesty about what they can give you. Okay, and for some of you, it may feel like rejection, or you may reject them. But Geminis, what's beautiful is you know what you deserve and you know what you want. And there's a real mature decision making here between two people. The Moon card, Cancer, Pisces energy. There are deep romantic feelings here. But I do think that, you're going to feel a little bit, as much as you're going to be getting truth and clarity from this person about what they can offer, where they are in life, what the reality of their situation, the reality of this situation, I feel like it is going to be a little bit skewed or confused, because this is definitely not a connection that you really want to let go of. I can see you're attracted to this person. I can see that there's romance here. There are romantic feelings. And we see the Hierophant card. Okay, Taurus energy. There's also a really strong spiritual connection. But I do think that you're going to be pulled in two different directions here, Gemini, about like what you fantasize about with this particular situation versus the reality of the situation. And then also what you fantasize and dream about in a relationship versus whether or not this connection can fulfill that. All right, so your person, Strength card, Leo energy. I do like this because they also feel the strength of this connection. And we are in Leo season, so I do think this is just confirmation that it's all unfolding now or within the next 7 or 8 days. But the Strength card here is also telling me that this person is really digging deep, because we can see their initial energy as being kind of avoidant, healing, working on themselves. But then behind the scenes, we see them actually having not only a tough conversation with themselves, but then a really tough, honest, authentic conversation with you, where they know that they could certainly lose you after this conversation. But it's like the Strength card is showing me that they just really want to do the right thing, even if it's tough, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean this connection comes to an end. But I think the most important takeaway from these messages, Gemini, is that you get the clarity about whether or not you're going to be continuing to emotionally invest or not. Or are you going to just keep things casual? Or are you going to, get rid of other options and fully go for it with this person? I mean, it's going to be different for all of you. So you're going to have to drop me a comment down below. All right, let's see. So we have seeking guidance. Your person might be getting tarot readings, psychic readings. They're just asking friends and family about what they should do here. We see incoming calls. So you definitely are going to be getting communication from this person. The King of Swords and the Magician card, without a doubt, you're getting communication. There could be some sort of third-party energy here involved. Like I said, some of you, they're not fully divorced or separated. For others of you, that third party is like they're traveling for work or whatever. All right, and things have been dirty and messy, which you may or may not be aware of. And I actually think that this person, I'm not saying they're dirty and messy at all, but I do think that, like, even if they come off as well, put together and elegant and confident and all of those things, this has not been this hasn't been easy, or this communication isn't easy for them, but like coming correct hasn't been easy. And not because they're not good at coming correct and being honest, but because it's a hard conversation, right? And I think coming correct for anybody is oftentimes, a much more difficult task than we make it seem sometimes. All right. So adventurous spirit, they're showing up as controlling. So holding back, controlling the narrative, self-employed. Some of you, I really do get, this third party energy could be their finances, or they have to work a lot and their schedule doesn't line up with yours, or that has to be their priority. So they pay their bills or they support their children or whatever it might be. But I do think your person is, adventurous spirit and controlling is interesting because it shows us this dichotomy within them, right? They want to take a risk, they want to take a leap of faith, but then they kind of hold back. And that's what we're seeing in their energy. This is somebody who's used to being independent, is a self-starter. All right, let's see what else we need to know. Yeah, so we see competition, enemy, clever, malicious, look over your shoulder, the other woman. Some of you, there's third party here, okay? But like I said, third party can be distance. We did see the Three of Wands show up. Third party can be work schedules, it can be family, it can be responsibilities, and obviously romantic rivals. But Gemini, there are real feelings between the two of you. So we see unconditional love, self-love, oneness, passion. There's affection, there's attraction, there's all those things. But remember, when we go back to the beginning of the messages, self-love is really important. Okay, and so I feel like that's the tough decision that you have to make. And we see not today, not dealing, hurt, avoiding a conversation, a call, a person, boundaries, still angry. Yeah, this person, we definitely get that avoidant energy, the Three of Swords in reverse and the Tower in reverse. This person, they might have an avoidant attachment style. But like I said, behind the scenes, they're coming in real, right? They're planning on coming in real, laying it all out on the table. And we see that with love call. We also see Cupid's arrow. So have faith, love is coming. They're going to surprise you. They may show up and talk to you in person. They may want to meet up. But I do kind of feel like, too, this person isn't losing faith in the connection, right? With the Seven of Wands, the big question is, how are we going to fight for this? Or are we going to fight for this? And the Strength card tells me that for a lot of you, yes, this person does want to, right? But it may not necessarily be an easy battle. All right, so let's see what else we need to know. All right, so leap of faith. So it's safe to make the move you're considering. Now remember, this person knows, Gemini, that you could very easily move off in a different direction. But this leap of faith is going to be personal for all of you. Is it towards them? Is it holding space for this connection? Is it moving forward with this connection? Or is it in a new direction? We see self-care, clear your energy field and focus on yourself before acting. And yeah, so really strong message here from the beginning to the end, that it's so important that you're in the energy of self-love and self-care before you make a decision here. Or that's what you base your decision on, Gemini, on you, what's best for you. And a new love or recommitment to love is developing. So that's the leap of faith. Is it this recommitment here? Or is it moving in a different direction? And Spirit saying just, the ultimate question, Gemini, is, does this situation align with your values and your morals? All right, I'm going to leave it here, sending you love and light. Take care.